Welcome back to the latest episode of the Hawk Insider with Coach Craig Slaughter, brought to you by Texas Bank. Coach, let's talk Brownwood.
Hey, fun night. It's just one of those historic programs that, unique stadium. I love the environment. When you're walking out, wall travel's awesome, and it's just amazing. But man, alive, compared to that home Brownwood crowd, it was a fun environment to play in for sure. And it just had a little weather issue there for a minute, but it didn't delay anything.
Yeah.
It was just a gorgeous night to play some awesome high school football.
Yeah. So stop 2 on Revenge Tour 2025. We got the one regular season loss checked off now that we took care of from last year. But let's talk about 3A versus 4A. Yeah, we could talk about Brownwood's rebuilding, all that good stuff, but they're still a 4A traditional state power. So what does that mean as a 3A school to go into their home stadium on the road and beat a 4A school?
Again, it's a storied program, a proud program. To be honest, when we took the field, their crowd I was like, dang, that was just more than I expected.
Yeah.
I thought our kids, obviously that first drive was just surgical, 7, 8 plays, whatever it was. It ended, with the touchdown pass to Reed. It was just great execution right off the bat. And again, I really, Thursday, we had just an awesome, crisp as you can practice, and sometimes I don't really, I always want it to be crisp, but you want to save those peak moments, for the game night. But man, and the coach officer were like, man, I knew we were ready to roll because, our kids were tuned in on Thursday and they turned it into a great game on Friday. Again, 3A, 4A, 2A. If you're a loaded team, you're a loaded team. I've said this about Cisco for years, and Mason, some of those really good teams, Lord, they'd have competed great in any of those districts. This year I think we would compete very good in almost any district you want to throw these dudes in. So it's just It's a two great programs matching up, and I thought we played really sharp.
Yeah. So let's deviate a little bit from what we normally do. I want to talk about the O-line and the D-line before we talk about anything else, because I think it was Vince Lombardi once said, football is boiled down to 2 things, blocking and tackling. Mm-hmm. That's it. And my God, you can't say enough about that O-line. I don't think Landon was touched once.
I do not think he was at all either. And going there, we knew their D-line was quality. That front 7 they put out there, was a quality front 7, that'll make us better for down the road. So, those O-line guys, we've been happy with them, from the jump. But man alive, just like last year's, they take pride in Landon not being touched. We kind of joked throughout the week, like, Landon, I may not even take your helmet this week. And again, and it's kind of a badge of honor for those guys and proud of them. And I know our defensive line, and we talked about this Saturday at film, there wasn't a ton. Some of those interior D linemen didn't have a ton of tackles, but all those running lanes were plugged up, which resulted in, like, Jacob Brayton had a monster game because those guys are just gobbling up blocks. Our ones gave up, I think, 97 yards on 32 plays, not counting that last drive when it was some of those big guns out of the game. But, those O&D lines, that was special. And, you talked about blocking and tackling. Nowadays, I put it in terms of offense is trying to create space, defense is trying to fill space, and that is absolutely, launder home. Those offensive guys are trying to create it. We're trying to take it away. And, I thought our kids, they played great the other night.
Yeah, I'll tell you, really jumped off the screen watching, calling the live feed from the studio. It really, the sheer domination of both sides of the line on the line itself is just incredible. So,
one thing that I think kind of behind the scenes, the weight program and the work those kids have done, when we take the field, we look like a good football team, and some of that is, just God touched someone on the head and, you're going to be a monster. But, that they've worked and worked for years, I'm so impressed with how they're playing, the other night. Zero character issues at all. Sometimes you see a little chippiness and stuff, and we know we're going to make some teams upset. I hope we do, but I just want to make sure we're playing it the right way, and so proud of our kids because I thought that they absolutely controlled the thing, dominated, and, just let the game talk.
Right. And, mention, let's talk defense for a moment. So you came away with 3 picks. Just to dominate. You said 90-something by the ones. Total yards was what, 150, 160, something?
I think
like giving up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just, what a great performance by this defense.
Hey, obviously we had that special teams mishap, got one ball at the 1. Hey, what's crazy at halftime, we were talking about it. for no reason, last week I put the ball at the inch line when we worked on goal line defense. I said, "Here, boys, this all you get." So when we had a whole yard to defend, they thought, I mean, that was just crazy coincidence. But what a great stop by our kids. That gave us kind of momentum that we turned into. They got 3. We had a great 2-play drive to get it right back. And then the second half, we got interception, stop on downs, interception. That right there is just complete taking control. And, again, one of those goals is forcing more turnovers. And, credit to the kids. They played lights out.
Yep. So how about that Gunner King, backup quarterback, getting a pick?
Right.
I was on the call. I was so wanting him to get a pick 6 out of. He gets taken out to a 2-yard line.
I told Gunner, I said, "Hey, the only thing you cannot ever do, you can't take a pick inside the 5. I said, get tackled before then, or get it all the way out." Gunner's one of those kids. He's got moxie. And Gunner's he is feeding in on that defensive unit. I mean, he's just he's a football player, and he's gonna make more plays than that one.
Yeah. So and then the other 2 picks was it Levi King and Kellen Oliver, right? So I mean, just great defense on that back end.
It was awesome. And Levi's was kind of a pressure package that. He did a great job of staying over the top of the receiver, and that pressure kind of created a high throw that he got. Kellen's was an awesome play. We were inside the 10. We were straight man, and they did that little halfback pass, and Kellen correctly, he never saw it because he just had his eyes on his, and it was great discipline by Kellen. And on Gunners, he was a great shape over the top in cover 2, and it was I love it because people don't know it, but it was 3 different coverages, that all the kids were where they were supposed to be, and resulted in big turnovers, and that's great football.
Yeah, Levi's was particularly, or not Levi's, was it? Who had the pick on the gadget play? Was that Kellen?
That was Kellen.
Kellen, yeah. So Kellen's was particularly impressive because it was off a gadget.
Correct.
And a lot of times, you have the tendency to cheat up.
Oh, for sure.
And he was very disciplined to stay in coverage and get that fit.
Yeah. No, it was Kellen's obviously had a monster couple of games, both side specials. You name it. I mean, what a senior year that dude's had him. But yeah, just a great play there. In the goal line, and turned him over.
Yep. So let's switch over to the offensive side now. Speaking of Kellen Oliver, let's talk about him first. 4 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. What a great game on both sides of the ball.
Oh, dude, again, Kellen's one that just as a senior, just last year the ball didn't find him quite as much. Reed and Evan were kind of leading that way with some Briggs, and this year, you have Barbie, playing a bigger role on offense. You have Kellen, playing a bigger role, and you still have those other weapons that the ball will find. It just, it just happens. It depends how the defense plays it and things. But Kellen is off to an incredible start. I think he had 4 for 64. A touchdown, had an interception, and obviously the other night, was great on specials. I mean, Kellen,
right,
is just want to start that dude's off too.
Yeah, and so I want to go back to the receivers here in a moment, but let's talk about Landon York. I mean,
efficient.
What do we say? I mean, 18 of 21, 249 yards. He did have the 1 pick, but I mean, 3 touchdowns, 6 on the season. I guess you kind of give him a break, or just don't do that again.
It gives a lot of them something to tear you back. And again, I played quarterback, nothing like Landon. You're going to have one every other game or so. You're like, oh God, I wish I got that one back. But again, some of those I never minded giving one of those donkey athletes. We got a chance to make a play. They just had a safety sitting under it. That just he didn't see it right or whatever. But We'll give him one out of those 20 throws.
We'll give him one, yeah. But no, just what a I mean, and being serious for a moment, just the growth he has made, even from last year to this year. Last year was stellar as well.
Oh yeah.
But just the growth he's shown, to pick that right receiver.
Yeah, no, man. Again, he's so cerebral, so level-headed. He does a great job, like the pick. Other than I'm sure he was frustrated for a second, like he's excited when he throws a touchdown, but it lasts about that long. Then it's back to that even keel leader kid that he is, cheering on the defense or whatever. He's not one that comes off, stomping. He's
going to fit.
Oh yeah, he's a level-headed kid.
Yeah.
And I know, that I'm sure helps launder home. He calls the game. Next play, let him throw the next 7 plays. We don't care. We trust him, and we're going to live with his decisions.
Yeah. So. Running the ball, sometimes we talk so much about the spread offense, but you still have to run the ball somehow. And Brady Neal again, last Friday night, 16 carries, 55 yards, and a touchdown. and got those tough yards when it was needed.
That's what, we were talking at halftime. He was like, man, he feels like he was about to pop, and there were some he was close, but that was a very workmanlike, I loved it. He ran tough, took care of the ball, that controlled anger we need Brady to play with. I thought Brady had a great night because, it's easy to have a great night when you're getting 16 carries for 150, but, he kept hitting the hole as he's supposed to, and he was really close, to popping a big one. Like I said, I thought Brady, maybe the most impressive performance I've seen him have, because that was carrying the mail against a quality defense, a physical game, and, he handled it.
Right. So back on the outside again, back to the receivers for a moment. We talked a little bit about Kellen Oliver, but Hagan Barbie, 6 catches, 115 yards. The biggest thing with Hagan Barbie, I noticed this, is that if I'm not mistaken, I tried to go back and see every catch, but almost every single one of them was run after the catch. It wasn't a deep throw. He caught it, a swing pass, a little tunnel screen, and then boom.
It's a controlled run game, play where he gets the ball. Dude, he is just a nasty good runner. Runs through contact. He's strong. He's fast. One of those, that big screen pass there, that the key play to that 2-minute drive, before we hit Kellen in the middle there, was just, Lord, that kid, he broke 4 or 5 tackles. And there was some great blocking along the way, but, when they had one there, he's running through them and making a miss. Hagan is an absolute weapon.
He is. And I will tell you, since you brought it up, that 2-play drive with 18 seconds, whatever it was there at the end of the first half. So on the call, I was talking about, I wondered, does Coach Craig Slaughter just put it in his pocket? Yeah. And you come out and you throw that swing pass, and Barbie takes it to the 14-yard line. I'm like, well, look, and I said, it shows you what I know. What do I know?
With our O-line, with our decision maker, and with our weapons, Launderholm called a pretty safe play there that, we turned into a, 40, 50-yard play, whatever it was, and all of a sudden, now you're cooking over the half there. So that was great.
And the good thing about us, so speaking of that drive, is right after that, right back on the ball, Kellen Oliver runs what looked like a little post route, and York hit him right there in the back.
In credit to again, offensive staff in York, that call was played for the trip side. Didn't like what was there. Kellen was probably the 3rd or 4th, receiver in that progression, and, is where he's supposed to be, and Landon puts it on him. And again, that speaks, one, offensive line, the time to make it work, the decision-making of York, and then Kellen where he's supposed to be. Like I said, no, that was just,
right.
That's where that offense is at, and it's fun to watch.
Running that right route. So speaking of fun to watch, and I was looking at, I calling the game, sometimes you get caught up in it. You don't really pay attention to, combined stats or whatever. But I was looking at this thinking to myself, Reed Robertson had what you might look at as a pedestrian type game, 3 catches, 32 yards, a couple of touchdowns, but you shut him down, then you got to shut Kellen Oliver down. You shut Kellen Oliver, you got to shut down Hagan Barbie. You shut him down. Oh, wait, here's Evan Bailey. You know what I'm saying?
The weapons are very real. It's and again, I tell the kids all the time, I hope people think that we do a great job. But believe me, we know we have incredible talent, to work with. And those weapons on the perimeter, and that's not even counting like Jagger, And
yeah. Oh yeah.
Bryson McFarland. Yes. Yeah. There's, it's just, Levi King would be an absolute beast receiver at a ton of schools. Just for us, he plays defense, and those weapons are awesome and impressive, and boy, they work hard. That they deserve their success, and we're excited about the season that they're going to continue to have.
Right. So before we take a break and before we get into talking about next week, is there anything? So 2 games. I hesitate to say 2 blowouts, but 2 very well controlled games, for lack of a better term. Is there anything that you've seen so far that you really think that, hey, we need to fix this? We need to get on this.
That one big special teams miscue was obviously because teams you think you're better than, boy, is that writing the recipe for the game turning, because if they would have cashed that in and we hadn't have scored, you're going into halftime 14-7 and just you're letting the team hang around that you think you're superior to. We really want to control special teams miscues, and we want to control turnovers. The rest of the game, I trust our coaches and our kids more than anything. They're gonna sort it out and make us look smart. We just need to put them in good chances to succeed, and right now we're doing it, and proud as can be of them.
Right. Hey, I got to give a shout out to Klein Smith. Struggled a little bit. Struggled a little bit last week, right? Yeah. Came out 5 extra points, and it wasn't like shaky. They were all
Hey,
good.
Again, maybe the premonition on the goal line all week. I would just walk by him and say, "Man, it's gonna be awesome to watch you go 5 for 5 this week." So I may tell him 9 for 9.
There you go.
But no, I got, and I mean right down the heart. I mean, no, and again, that whole little operation. Again, that's a Gunner King snap. Evan Bailey hold and and TK, with the perfect kick.
Right.
So that's a smooth little operation, and proud of that group too.
Yeah, so great job. We're going to take a quick break here on the Hawk Insider, brought to you by Texas Bank. Check out the highlights from this past week. When we come back, we'll talk about Jim Ned. With the back to his right, that's Jagger Thompson. He's going to go to the end zone with it, up high. And touchdown, Wall Hawks. Did not get that one on the call. Camera did not get over there quick enough, but it looks like, that's Reed Robertson in the near corner of the end zone. 10-yard touchdown reception by Reed Robertson. Clear from the feed. York takes the snap and he fakes the handoff, comes to the far side down the corner end zone. Reed Robertson goes up. Touchdown, Wall Hawks. Oh my, Reed Robertson doing Reed Robertson things on the Alpha Paving touchdown. Running back to his left, and York retreats. Full screen pass, number 23 coming upfield, 30. And he breaks a tackle, 35, 40, 45, 50. He's loose, 40, 35, 30, 20, 15. Pushed out at the 14-yard line. I believe is that Hagan Barbie on that catch and run. The Hawks with the inside the Angelo MRI red zone, and York retreats, end zone, touchdown, Wall Hawks. Pass to number 2, Kellen Oliver. My, oh my. Wow, 17 seconds, 18 seconds, and the Hawks move 74 yards for the touchdown. Good Lord Almighty. I guess that just goes to show what little I know, saying is Craig Slaughter going to push it downfield. What do I know? Alpha Payton touchdown, and the extra point forthcoming. Jacob Braden taking the snap. Braden just simply gives it to big number 48, Dylan Sellers, and Sellers is going to score another touchdown. Lions, as Colston barks out the signals, drops straight back, throws downfield, picked off by the Wall Hawks, coming back upfield. That's number 9, Gunner King now, the backup quarterback. He makes a move. He's at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Oh, pushed out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Gunner King on the pick.
At Texas Bank, we believe in the power of relationships. Our roots are our customers, the lifeblood of our business. We're more than just a bank. We're your trusted financial partner, committed to building lasting connections and providing personalized service that exceeds your expectations. From helping you achieve your financial goals to supporting you through life's changes, we're here for you every step of the way. Experience the difference of banking with people who truly care.
Friendship being
Welcome back to the Hawk Insider with Coach Craig Slaughter, brought to you by Texas Bank. I'm Russ Howard. Let's talk about this upcoming week, game 2 of the 3-game road trip, as it were. Jim Ned. Talk to me about Jim Ned.
You know, huge rivalry. Just we match up so much of the time with those guys in baseball, softball, basketball, track. So many amazing football games with those guys, including last year's. Credit to them, we're up 17-0. You think in control of that game, and all of a sudden, here they come, and you're down, and you need that heroic drive 2-point, to walk away with the win. But just we bring out the best in each other, and I know our kids know, I know their kids know. When Wall and Jim Ned get together, it's a rivalry game, and both teams are going to absolutely play at their max, and it's going to be neither team wants to make mistakes, and but we know we will get their very best. They're definitely this year they're throwing the ball a little more themselves. They've been over the years extremely physical, and they're still physical, but they're definitely they're letting that quarterback might get the ball out of his hands some too.
Yeah. So you brought it up last year's game. Just as I'm curious. I mean, this is not just reporter speak. I'm curious. Do you talk to the team that from a perspective, hey, look, we know what happened last year. We got up big, and then we kind of went to sleep, and we had to come back for that last-second comeback. Is that something that you use as a cautionary tale?
No, I haven't really. I don't think I've addressed it with them. I mean, I know we talked about it, last year. This year, I'm just kind of, never count them out. It's just that they're gonna rally and respond, and that they're quality kids. And again, their coach is one of my best friends in coaching. He's a guy that I really like. I want to kick his lungs in. I respect their program. And I respect their kids. And how they play the game. It's just that we're gonna get their very best. They're gonna get our very best.
There's a lot of similarities between Jim Ned and Wall. Wall just outside of Big City. Tuscola, Jim Ned in Tuscola, they're just outside of Abilene. So, there's a lot of similarities there.
Oh, for sure. When I watch their parents walk into our stadium, it looks like us. You see grandparents, little siblings, in the school colors. And, again, I very just ton of respect for that school and community, and it'll be a fun one to be a part of.
Yep. So let's talk about this road trip before we close everything up today. So, when the schedule came out, were you expecting to see 3 straight road games? Opponents.
Last year, when you're setting it up, you kind of, hey, I need a home game, I need a road game. And if a lot of times it just lines itself out. If it doesn't, you just go to the coin flip. Because it is 3 road games. It's tough. When we talk about the coach's office, the one thing that I'm using it as I hope we have 6 road games to end this season.
There you go.
And it's just, you never, you practice, you load up on the bus, you go play game, you come back, and you do it again. So, I hope that we're some serious road warriors, when before this thing's said and done. But, again, it's a little 75-mile trip or whatever it is, and, we're going to jump on the bus, and I just know, I truly am excited about the environment. Our stands will be packed, their stands will be packed, and, well, let's get after it.
Yeah. You brought up a good point. I was going to bring that up, and you went ahead and said it. But, yeah, this kind of thing preps you for playoff football, because you host 1, maybe 2 games at home, and then as you get deeper and deeper and deeper, hopefully the goal is obviously to end up in Jerry World, but you still have to go to those stadiums like Snyder, Sweetwater.
Yes.
So
and that's what the only thing that I think is tough. I don't really think the kids necessarily, oh, man, we're on the road. They're just, like the coaching staff on home games, we normally break our game down before we leave Friday night. So I love showing up Saturday and I'm done with that game. It makes my weekend stretch out longer. But that's just coaching.
Right. Well, Coach, good luck we are again broadcasting remotely. We missed about 5 minutes of the first quarter this week. We had some technical difficulties, but then everything started working right. So, but we are going to be broadcasting. So we'll be there in spirit.
Awesome.
Maybe not, I would love to go on the road and do it on the road, but unfortunately I have to do it from the studio.
Nice. No sweat. We're glad you're doing it.
Yeah, but good luck to you. Hopefully we come back 3-0, and then we'll talk about Monahans.
Sounds good to me.
All right. You've been watching the Coaches Show, the Hawk Insider with Coach Craig Slaughter, brought to you by Texas Bank. Thank you so much. Don't forget to tune in. If you can't go to Jim Ned, if you can't travel up to Tuscola, don't forget to tune in on Friday night at 7 p.m. We'd love to have you watch us. Take care. God bless. We'll see you.
At Texas Bank, we believe in the power of relationships. Our roots are our customers, the lifeblood of our business. We're more than just a bank. We're your trusted financial partner, committed to building lasting connections and providing personalized service that exceeds your expectations. From helping you achieve your financial goals to supporting you through life's changes, we're here for you every step of the way. Experience the difference of banking with people who truly care.